Hello and welcome everyone. Well, today is going to be a little bit different because today I'll tell you the story of one of my most profitable friendships, okay? Now, did you ever have this very difficult friend, alright? And when I say difficult, I mean honestly, sometimes you just want to kill him, but he's super great normally, most of the times, sometimes, rarely. So, this friend, alright? Whenever you have an idea, you want to do something, for example, you want to take dancing lessons or you want to start drawing, he immediately comes up with the exact same idea. Even worse, he thinks it's his idea, okay? I bet you had a friend like that. So you got this friend and imagine you want to start the modding career, okay? And obviously he has the same idea. Oh yeah, I'll start the modding career as well. The problem is he barely does any art, like most of the times he just relies on money, and I say that because he's pretty rich. So imagine you have this rich friend and he's like, oh, Oskar, or your name here, why don't you do art for me, for my mods? And I'll just pay you for it. And you're like, oh, sound, money, I'll buy some, goods and everything. Now, you come up with a mod idea, okay? And he comes up with a very similar idea. But the problem is, his idea isn't as original as yours, because you want to do something, for example, very vanilla style, and he just wants to do something related to maybe other intellectual property, for example, Altered Carbon, or Halo, or maybe Fallout. Now, having this out of the way, let me tell you where the term to Helixien something comes from, because we use it quite a lot in Vanilla Expanded team. Now, if you have a great modding idea, or if whenever I have another Vanilla Expanded mod idea, I always share it with people, and most of the people just say, oh, Oskar, this idea is great, or oh, Oskar, you need to change something, this idea isn't the best. What does Helixien say? He says, I will use this idea. So, yeah, he's currently making a mod and I am helping him out with some art. The mod is going to be about, about something you can see in Fallout and probably in local folklore. So the mod in question is about Wendigos, and Wendigos are essentially, what I understand them to be, is these ancient, bloodthirsty, human flesh-eating monstrosities. As I said, you can see them in Fallout, but I also remember seeing them in an amazing TV series called Supernatural. In fact, I know our friend Helixien loves Supernatural as well, so maybe that was one of the inspirations. So to start off, I set up the canvas. Now, as I explained to you guys before, we are working on 10 times the vanilla size, the vanilla resolution. What I know is that Wendigos will actually be playable pawns, so what we're aiming for is essentially sort of like a humanoid alien race, so we need to recreate the human bodies. Now, if you look into the RimWorld files, the human bodies are 128 pixels by 128, so we're essentially doing 1280 pixel canvas, and we'll make 3 of them because there's the 3 sides, the south view, the east view, which also get mirrored to west view, and the north view. So we are starting off by finding pretty much the average body for reference. As you can see, I already put some Wendigo references from the Fallout, so we can work with them. Let's just quickly resize it, and we'll be putting it in the correct places. There we go. So we'll be aiming to make everything in the shades of essentially white, because the color will be applied by the game through code. This way you can have much more customizability without making additional textures. We'll just duplicate that because we also need to do some head shapes. Now, Helixien wants me to create several different designs so they essentially get randomized, so you don't see the same Wendigo twice, which I think is a great idea and definitely something that I would do if I was making my own race mod. So we are just taking a look at how the Wendigos actually look. Just to roughly know the dimensions and, well, the design, and we're gonna start drawing. Now, because we want to make it black and white, it doesn't mean we'll be actually drawing in white, and that is because it will be very difficult for me to see, so I'm just changing the color to red for now. There we go, and again, as I explained in the previous tutorial, we are going to do just left side of it and then we'll mirror it. we go, we're using the pen tool for everything. It's absolutely amazing. Now, once we have one side done, let's just quickly do the east view, so we roughly know how it's supposed to look. As I said before, it's easiest to make all three views simultaneously, because you don't get out of style. You keep the same proportions, you keep the same dimensions of everything and the shapes. Just need to do it when it's fresh, you know? There we go. Now we can see that Wendigos and Fallout universe have this massive belly. It's almost as big as my belly, so what we're going to do is we're just going to draw it, and we'll be playing around with gradients in a little while, because that will help us to actually show the 3D effect of this pretty puffed up belly, if you know what I mean. There we go. Let's send this to back. Let's merge these shapes together. And let's start playing with the gradients. We'll just color pick from essentially the background, because the background is always white. There we go. Color picking the gray as well. Now we just need to make sure that the gradient actually looks on par with the vanilla body gradient. Just like that. Let's make sure it's positioned in the correct spot as well. And now let's apply the same gradient to the belly. Let's make sure it sticks out, but it also blends in with the rest of the body, because we don't want it to look, well, like it's essentially added on top of it. We're going to make everything a little bit slimmer to further show how the belly is just massive. It's probably filled with like human meat or something. I don't know. I've never played Fallout 76. I have no intention to. In my eyes, Fallout ended after Fallout New Vegas. You can have a different opinion. It's you know, it's just what I think. There we go. We'll be doing some shading now. We're using the darker gray. Again, everything will be colored in the game, so you won't actually see any white Wendigos, I don't think. There we go. All these nice creases, all these nice shadings to make everything come alive. As much as alive it can be, because I don't think Wendigos are actually alive. There we go, let's flip it, and we'll be merging all the shapes. There we go, we're just doing a little bit more shading on the belly to blend it in with the rest of the body, just like that. Again, I'm only doing one side of it, because we will be using the Pathfinder tool to essentially cut it out and then flip it horizontally and apply it to the other side. Let's make sure the color is correct. There we go. Never be afraid to check the things you've done. Sometimes you will need to change the color. Don't get attached to anything you do is one of my advice. Sometimes you need to take a step back to make 2 steps forward, and there's no way around it. So don't be afraid to look at your own art critically, because the worst thing you can do is praise your own art. It's best if you have some people you can show it to. It's even better if these people are not just your fanboys who will say that everything you do is pretty. But then again, it's nice to hear, you know, if they say it is. And we'll be doing the outline. So the way we do the outline is we use the Pathfinder tool to blend all the shapes, to merge all the shapes into one. We will color pick the background color, the outline color, and we'll make sure it's roughly around 30, maybe 25 thickness. There we go. Now, I know we're making Wendigos right now, and you'll probably think, oh, but I'm not going to make my own Wendigos, so why do I need this tutorial? I'm pretty sure you can use it for just any humanoid alien race. And here I place the big shout out to my friend Erdelf, who has always been there for me, and he essentially helped me start modding. That's a lie. He's not a nice person, but he's there. So if you guys need any help with humanoid alien races, don't hesitate to send him a message and check out all the mods that he worked on. There we go. Now, since we have the south view looking very scary, let's just copy it over so we have it as source of inspiration, and let's work on the east view. Now, we'll be applying roughly the same shading, obviously the same colors. We just need to sometimes make sure and check the reference art for inspiration. And yeah, just work with the lines, just like that. Again, please remember, don't hesitate to go 2 steps back, remove something you've done and see if you can make it better. Because if you get attached to a mistake, it's still a mistake, you know? And sometimes I hear people say, oh, but I spent, 20 hours making it. It doesn't matter if you're making it wrong, you spent 20 hours essentially strengthening the mistake when you should have removed something and started from scratch and possibly make it better. There's so many art that never made it into any of the mods. I've got essentially, I think, 12 gigabytes of different files that I was just not too happy with, so I never released them. There we go, we're making the belly on the east view now. We're applying the same sort of shading, but again, we'll need to work a little bit extra to actually make it blend in with the rest of the body. And here, I believe we're pretty much done with the east view, which is absolutely great. Let's just clear up the rest of the shading issues, so it looks like it's essentially just skin on bones, because that's how it's supposed to look. And let's fix it up with some nice outline like we did on the other one. Now, north view is always the easiest one to do. We'll be just copying the south view to get that silhouette in place. And we will be removing detail that's obviously not visible from the back. And we'll be applying new detail like the spine and maybe the rib cage. I hope you guys don't mind that I sped this up a little bit. It's not as interesting to spend 20 minutes watching it. Especially there's more stuff in this video that I'd like to cover. There we go, let's just copy all these shadings that we have done, all these shapes, and flip them over, and there we go. We have the north view done. We need to scale it a little bit. There we go. And I think the only thing we're missing is the outline, so let's just copy everything, merge it, and literally color pick the outline. As I said before, I think it's not just picking the color. The color pick tool is great because it actually picks all the attributes of the shape. So yeah, this is definitely very helpful. Attributes as an outline, thickness of the outline, the color of the outline, the color of the shape. Now, we'll be working on the head, so let's proceed and do that. We obviously take the human head for inspiration. I just picked some random color and started doing the silhouette. Now, we want to make it look a little bit alien and a little bit sort of like the skull, a little bit undead. Now, it's difficult because, as you can see, the Wendigo has open mouth with teeth, and usually nothing in RimWorld has it. You probably know it already, but there's no mouths unless you use mods like facial stuff or things like that. So we need to make sure it looks in vanilla style, essentially. So we'll be trying to give out the same expression using just the eyes. And after we've got the basic head shape done, we want to do the eyes. Now the eyes are obviously black like anything in RimWorld, like the outline and all the inner shapes. So let's just trace it over to get this interesting horror-like alien looking shape. We obviously need to scale it up a little bit. Don't hesitate to play around with it, do different variations if you have to, and just pick the one that looks best. What I'm doing now is I'm applying a white shape so the eye sticks out a little bit, just like it does in the original art and the reference image that we have. Again, you only need to do one side and just flip it. What we're doing now is we're doing the similar thing, the white shading onto the actual jaw. Again, we can't really show the open mouth because there's no mouths in RimWorld, but what we can do is we can make the lower jaw stick out a little bit to show that there is something there. There we go. As I said, we'll be just flipping it. Just like that. Let's move this over, arrange it and send to back. And let's just make sure it's intersected nicely. There we go. Now what we need to do is we need to apply the gradient to the actual shape of the head. So we'll go into radial gradient and we'll make sure the colors are actually color picked from the head reference art. And what I decided to do now is apply little speckles of darker color just to show that it's not pristine looking glossy bald head, but instead it's sort of undead with many imperfections. Just like every one of us, this head is also imperfect. Just like that, making very organic shapes. And we'll just select everything and apply the outline to it in just a little moment. There we go, let's just literally pick the color of the outline and the shape of it from the actual body types. Now guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to speed this up because we are sort of running out of time and I really want to show you everything that I've done. By the end of the video, you will see me doing something far more scarier, and by that I mean I'll be working on the ancient Wendigos. I won't go over in detail how I do them yet, but I do plan a video where I explain how to do these amazing, crazy looking, scary monsters, how to apply shading to them, how to create silhouettes that stick out, and something that looks genuinely scary. But again, in this video I'm sort of running out of time, so you will just have to stay tuned for the next upload, and in the meantime just listen to some nice music and watch me work. I am not sure when the Wendigo mod will be out, but please look out for it. You can look out for news on Reddit, and you can definitely check the Steam Workshop every now and then. I do believe it's going to be a great mod. I have seen what Helixien has planned, and it's a lot of interesting mechanics. If you like the cannibalism sort of style of your playthrough, you will definitely enjoy this mod, and the fact that you can actually play as Wendigos is absolutely amazing. Not only that, you can actually raid their villages, which is also great. So yeah, let's listen to some music and I will catch up with you guys by the end of this video. Thank you. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Now I do have some more stuff planned in the future. I will be going over how I make weapon art. I'll start off with melee weapons because I was actually working with Combat Extended team to retexture their hand-to-hand combat weapons. I also plan, do the shooty pew weapons. That will also be great. A great tutorial, I hope. We have a couple of mods lined up, so Vanilla Achievements Expanded just entered testing. After it goes through all the testing stages, we'll obviously publish it and make a video about it. We also have a great new Storyteller mod planned for you people who like combat and raiding and everything, that's similar to maybe Wave Survival. His name is Igor the Invader, so you can keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, stay tuned, turn on notifications if you want to be, well, obviously notified the moment I release a video. And yeah, I'm sort of getting used to it, so you can expect the quality of the videos to improve over time. And thank you for persevering in these very difficult beginnings that they are. So yeah, I hope you all gonna have good time and best of luck to you. See you later.